She didn't frown. She was smiling. She had amazing energy. And she just made everybody feel welcome.
Oh man, hello and welcome. This is me reading stuff, and I'm Robyn O'Neill. I'm coming at you from Washington State, where I've got windows open here in my yarn room. Breeze is coming in. They call it the natural AC. Gladiolas in full bloom out the window. Orange, red, purple, and latte-colored gladiolas. All over 5. They're about 6 feet tall. Is that normal? I don't think so, but maybe. They're huge. Oh, I love it. Anyway, my garden is full bloom. We've got some good weather. Hummingbirds are going all over my head. Scrub jays, eagles, crows are eating peanuts. You name it, we got it here. Food. You ask how I'm doing food-wise. Doing great. Thank you. Last night, in fact, I made 2 casseroles. Not just 1, 2. I made a sort of, they were both sort of made up by me, but inspired by other ones. One of them was a breakfast casserole made kind of based on, if you've ever seen an Amish hash brown casserole, and then mixed with my idea of like a kind of a brunch casserole from the Midwest. And it was really good. And then I made, for Damien, he wanted some sort of, he saw it in a magazine, a Cajun beef casserole, and it had cornbread on the bottom. Or maybe it was on the top of it. But anyway, I took that idea and rolled with it and made him something that he now calls, I think he calls it, what is it? Desert Memories casserole, because it reminds him of growing up in Arizona. He was obsessed. He goes, Robyn, write down exactly what you did so that anytime if I am upset or depressed or sick, this is the casserole I need. So that was cool because I made it. I would never have made it. It's not my thing at all. And in fact, I ate a bite and I just didn't want any more of it. And so, not that it was bad. It's just not my thing, you know? It's kind of cool to make something like that where you know you're not even going to eat it, but you put your all into it for somebody. It's really fun. Oh, anyway, so he's great. Did I mention Frankie? She's doing great. She's asleep right next to me. She's annoyed with me because I started to talk to you guys, so I'm loud, you know. She's like, I thought we were being like quiet woman and cat and books, but nope, psych on her. I'm just looking at the books so that I can start talking to you guys in a second. What else? You guys want me to roll through my life? My health is pretty great. My mental health is even better than that. I'm recovering from a surgery on my left eye. So I've got I used to think these were dorky glasses, but the more I keep having to wear them, these post-surgery shades, I'll have to send you guys a photo. What did that mean? As if we're all, like, that is so weird. I can't send it to you guys anywhere. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing great. What else to say? I'm happy. That's about all I need to say, and I don't really take naps anymore. I just thought I should mention that for some weird reason. I'm just not really tired anymore. It's interesting, as I get sort of healthier in different ways, mentally speaking, you know, I keep working on myself. I've had to work on myself pretty hard here, and so I just find I'm not so tired. In fact, this has happened a lot in the past week. When I'm laying in bed and I'm about to go to sleep, I just want to cry. And sometimes I did cry a little bit this week at night in those moments. And you want to know why? Because I'm so excited to wake up in the morning and do more fun things with my life. Like all the things I'm doing right now must be serving me pretty well, because that's how excited I'm crying. I feel like maybe a healthy little kid feels that way before, I don't know, their birthday or something like that. Anyway, I'm feeling fun. I'm feeling like I am about fun, like I represent fun. And I hope to go to my, not grave, because I don't want to go to a grave. I hope to go to my crematorium feeling fun, because it rubs off on people when you're fun. Like something tells me when I go off to my crematorium, something about me is going to make the guys or gals that are taking me to the crematorium laugh. Like I'll probably say to somebody, before I die, like if I have the chance, I'll be like, can you put on just like a ridiculous shirt that says something so dumb and funny for the people who are taking me off to the crematorium. You know what I mean? Like, we should just all, if we're able, and I'm able at this point, infuse as much fun and lightheartedness into the world as you can. I mean, I'm a very serious person, and I'm still saying that because people need it so badly. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to match somebody coming to me telling me that somebody in their life died. I'm not going to meet that with fun. I'm going to be sincere and genuine in my, sadness with them. But I don't know. I also notice every time I write, every time I type on the phone specifically, or write with my hands, but it seems like if I'm typing out, the word part, like no matter if I have to say part 1 or if I have to say something about part, I always type party. Like, I cannot help but to make the word party. It's almost like I might as well just give up. I don't even want to try to say from now on, party is just going to be part. One of you guys mentioned something. Let me gather my thoughts. I'll be back in just a second.
You like the weather. You're a storm chaser. I was a volunteer cloud watcher. You like poetry. How many books do you own? How do you pronounce A? B-O-K-O-V. I live my life.
Okay, I remember one thing I was going to say, but I couldn't find the evidence of this. But so it kind of seems like I'm making up this compliment somebody gave me. But on one of the podcasts, either this one or the other one I had for a little while called Robyn's Gate, somebody either messaged or put on there or sent it to somebody, and I got it, that said something about, I have an enthusiasm for life that rubs off on her. And when I heard that, I was like, it's almost like I looked around like, you're talking about me? Who? What? Me? I didn't realize until somebody said that I had an enthusiasm for life. And then it was so obvious once they said it, it started to take hold of me. I'm like, that is like the essence of me. Oh yeah. Like maybe it was so obvious that I couldn't see it. But when I heard somebody say they liked listening to the podcast because of my enthusiasm for life, because I always thought I was maybe so negative or so mean or whatever. I don't know. I just didn't see it that way. But I do have, and my enthusiasm for life has gotten bigger and badder and broader. Like the very minor things make me extremely content and happy with being alive now. And, I used to always struggle with like, why does anybody want to be here? This is horrible being alive. I don't think that at all anymore. In fact, I'm just devastated by the fact that I'm going to die at some point, I mean, I'm not afraid of death in that way, but at this point, when I now realize how much I've wasted it worrying and being stressed out and angry and all of those things, can I please, I'm not going to worry about it. From here on out, every breath I take will be, just full with appreciation. So, and I know that. I say that as fact. I can tell that this is something I'll never waver on again. So, bye. The whole thing about fun. I want to read to you guys the Melody Beattie book, The Language of Letting Go. It's called Daily Meditations on Codependency. And even if that sounds like you don't need that, I feel like everybody needs this stuff. I'm going to read a page from June that I really liked. It's called Spontaneity and Fun, June 12th. Practice being spontaneous. Practice having fun. The joy of recovery is that we finally get to experiment. We get to learn new behaviors, and we don't have to do them perfectly. Well, that was so hard for me forever. It's not anymore now. Anyway, we only need to find a way that works for us. We even have fun experimenting, learning what we like and how to do what we like. That's just the first paragraph of this full page. And I got to tell you, I got so excited reading that. Speaking of being excited, because I'm like, yes, I get all of this now. I had none of this before, not even when I was a kid. I mean, I had fun, but this is all new for me. Anyway, moving on. I get so excited. Many of us have gotten into a rut with rigidity, martyrdom, and deprivation. One of the, quote, normal experiences many of us have been deprived of is having fun. Another one is being spontaneous. We may not have the foggiest notion what we would like to do for fun, and we may hold ourselves in check so tightly that we wouldn't allow ourselves to try something fun anyway. We can let ourselves go a little now and then. We can loosen up a bit. We don't have to be so stiff and rigid, so frightened about being who we are. Take some risks. Try some new activities. What would we like to do? What might we enjoy doing? Then take another risk. Pick out a movie we'd like to see. Call a friend and invite him or her over to go along. If that person says no, try someone else or try again another time. Decide to try something. Then go through with it. Go once, go twice. Practice having fun until fun becomes fun. There you go. I wanted to say that a lot of this rings true for me right now in particular because I've been coming out of just a lot of stuff emotionally over the past year and a half. And as I'm kind of coming back to normal, I'm realizing I've said so many things about myself that I'm not going to say anymore because they're not true anymore. Like, for instance, I am an anxious person or I suffer from anxiety. I'm not going to say those things because those things are going to keep me there, you know? I mean, I do a lot to conquer those feelings, but I see anxiety as self-harm, and so I don't want to say I'm a person who harms myself every minute of the day anymore, whereas I used to feel anxiety every minute of the day, and that's exactly what it did to me, which was nothing good. So anyway, long story short, I'm redefining myself as we all are so often, and I am doing it in pretty drastic ways where I just refuse to be that other person anymore. I refuse to suffer anymore, at least any of the unnecessary suffering. I want to remove it. And the more I step into a calmer body and a calmer mind, I'm realizing how dangerous it's going to be if I keep calling myself an anxious person or, I just don't leave the house very much because I can't. It's like, well, I don't know. I just don't want to do that. I don't have any rules anymore for myself. But I'm not going to just do anything. Like if somebody comes, knocks on the door and asks me if I want to go, I don't know, what's something I wouldn't do? I don't know. I do a lot of things right now. I was going to say surfing. But I would surf. If somebody was like, I am willing to go take you and let you try to surf, I would do that. I probably wouldn't go to, what's something I wouldn't want to go to? I don't know. I would like to do anything is the weird thing. Like when I came up with something absurd, like go to a nightclub and go dancing, that sounded absurd. But then again, I was like, what am I talking about? That sounds awesome. So I have nothing to say anymore. I don't know who I am. I don't know who the hell I am anymore. Yeah, I don't know who I am, but I like it. I'm learning about who I am. I think a lot of my childhood, I was spending a lot of my childhood trying to not become who I was probably needing to become for various reasons. And so now that real person's coming out and I'm like really calm and really easygoing about things. I'm not offended easily at all. I know everything's going to be fine always because it always is. What else? I don't say things I don't mean. I don't allow people to treat me poorly. I don't accept unacceptable behavior. What else? Well, those are just a few things. Those sound pretty good. I'm going to read to you guys are you guys ready for it? I haven't read to you guys in a while, have I? Charles Simic. If I were doing recommendation corner today, which I don't think I am, I would say just read The World Doesn't End by Charles Simic. It won the Pulitzer Prize in 1990. It's a Harvest book. I'll put a link in the description for you guys to buy it. But for now, I'm going to read to you this page is marked, and I know this poem, so I'll read this one. I was going to read you another poem by Charles Simic today because it rang true with how I feel right now. But it's so strange because I couldn't find it. It's called Stone. And it starts by saying, go inside a stone. That would be my way. Let somebody else become a dove. Something like that. And I really love that. And I really, at this point in my life, if reincarnation is real, and if I do come back as something, this next time around, I really would love to be a stone. Just like a really, really regular gray stone in somewhere ordinary. And I used to think things like, God, wouldn't it be cool to come back a lap cat or a tiger? And the more I live and experience everything, no, I'd much rather be a stone. So anyway, well, this isn't that poem because I couldn't find it, but this is from The World Doesn't End, one of my favorite books of poetry from Charles Simic, who passed away not long ago. I was in love with him. That's plain and simple. Like, not romantic. I did not know him, but I did admit to being in love with him many times on Me Reading Stuff, so it must be true. Oh, God. Here we go. I feel like I'm really not on my A game today, but I don't really care. I'm just having fun. Here we go. Once I knew, then I forgot. It was as if I had fallen asleep in a field, only to discover at waking that a grove of trees had grown up around me. Doubt nothing, believe everything was my friend's idea of metaphysics, although his brother ran away with his wife. He still bought her a rose every day, sat in the empty house for the next 20 years talking to her about the weather. I was already dozing off in the shade, dreaming that the rustling trees were my many selves explaining themselves all at the same time, so that I could not make out a single word. My life was a beautiful mystery on the verge of understanding. Always on the verge. Think of it. My friend's empty house, with every one of its windows lit, the dark trees multiplying all around it. That is oh God, I love this book so much. I love that poem. Okay, I'm going to read you another one. It involves a stone, but it has no title. Here it goes. The stone is a mirror which works poorly. Nothing in it but dimness. Your dimness or its dimness, who's to say? In the hush, your heart sounds like a black cricket. I saw, recently I was looking at these interviews of Charles Simic, as recently as today, actually, so I should have said today, and I heard him say that a lot of his poems were, I was going to say written, but more like edited by himself, where he'll look at the poem and it'll be about that short, the first draft of it. But basically the best way, he said, to do it, to finalize it, is to take the first and last lines out. And it leaves this uneasiness, kind of. I mean, I am summarizing something, a very big concept that he was talking about in a way that should not be allowed. But in order to tell the story, I hope that makes sense. And once he said that, I think that is one of the most brilliant ways to look at art making, because I think that all of us who make things know this to be true after a while, that the things you think you're doing that are great are usually not the things that other people think are great. That's number one. But also number two, to go back to the Charles Simic theory, so, you would come in usually like hot or on an intro line, or, really try to make that last line hit. And that's when you're just being a bit too clever, maybe. And this is an oversimplification of even that theory, but is that making sense to you guys? I hope it does. I mean, for me artistically, that's why I kept myself in this neutral zone of just pencil and paper, because originally the reason I started to do that had a lot to do with how easy I found it to make things look attractive and look good when I utilized color when I was a painter. And I do that now. I mean, even if I'm making, let's say, if you guys know my artwork of the past, like something from the stationery series, at the risk of oversimplifying my own process, when I put, like, say, a little tiny piece of collaged paper that has this very bright red, like a cadmium red light color on it. So imagine a black and white landscape, and then I collage on a very bright red piece of paper. Yeah, I mean, if you're pretty good at what you do with a picture plane, like an artist should be, it's very easy for me to make that look really awesome. Much easier than if I didn't include that red collage element. Does that make sense? Or that bit of red watercolor, if I put that on top of it. Because it excites it, right? And so those things that you're doing because I feel like if you're good at art, you know how to do those things, which almost everybody is. But I think if you're really, really good at art, you hold back on those obvious gestures. Bam. That's all I got to say. I feel like I kind of made sense. I may have not, but we're already getting into 20 minutes. I want to let you guys go. Let me take a breath. I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah, come on. What do you think? I'm here for my health. Welcome to this new style. Welcome to this new place.
All right, I'm back. I'm stretching. Stretch your neck gently. Take yourself to a special meal or make yourself a special dinner as if you were trying to impress yourself. I did that the other day, and I got to watch trains go by a window of this restaurant while I ate a turkey Robyn and a nice cool glass of ice water and some French fries and horseradish dipping sauce. And I was as happy as I can be. I really do think we should all treat ourselves like we are romantically obsessed with ourselves and we want to do the best things for that person. Does that make sense? I've been doing it, and man, I am good to myself. Anyway, be good to yourselves. Try to be good to others. Try to get your body calm. The rest will get better from there. That's what I have found. Stretch again. Stretch your neck, stretch your back, stretch your arms and your fingers. Get another glass of water, tea, or coffee, or whatever it is. Take a walk. Eat a pickle. Go to sleep. And wake up excited. I love you guys. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Sincerely. I know it's been a while. I was trying to not mention it. And yet here I am. See ya.